Cool.
Start to welcome everyone. Hello, hello.
I see familiar names. That's fun. I'll remind people as you join, but as you get dialed in, feel free to use the chat function just to let Michael and I know what parts of California and Colorado you're joining us from.
Oh, so far we have Oakland, we have Lincoln, California. Love that area up there. Hello, Gina. How are you?
I can't be the only Colorado person.
Yeah, we have California, Colorado coming. We just talked about the snow happening out there. It comes in for a little bit and it melts in the daytime, comes back at nighttime, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we have Thanksgiving coming up. So crazy, all these holidays. Veterans Day on Wednesday. So
Yeah.
have some good things happening. Lincoln is God's country. Definitely is. Definitely is. Who else do we have here?
Let's see, Jamie and Jan.
Hello, Jamie and Jan.
We'll give it just, I show top of the hour at 2:00 or 2:00 Mountain Time. So we'll give it just a minute longer here and let some folks trickle in.
We should do some small talk, huh?
So Raul just joined us.
Nice. Welcome.
Very good.
Yeah, we see Deepa. Hello, Deepa. We see Eric, Giovanni, Gina, Jamie, Jan, Raul. Pleasure. Thank you guys for all attending today. We'll start here in a few.
Michael, we talked about the snow in my area. What's it like for you?
In the Bay Area, anytime you get to 50, you got winter coats out. We have scarves and we have like 5 layers on before it's 8:00. But it's different. I even bought my dogs like some coats and stuff, like the winter sweaters and all that stuff. So when I go out and play with them. Last week, there's a lot of algae in like this one area. My dog thought it was grass and literally skipped across the pond and jumped right in. So, but yeah, no, it's nice out here. 55, 65 degrees, hopefully some rain this weekend. But my son is kind of bummed because he likes skateboarding on the weekends.
Kind of hard to do when you've got rain and then slippery conditions, huh?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if he was in Colorado, he'll start snowboarding. Do you snowboard? Have you ever snowboard?
No, I'm kind of the rare breed of the Colorado native that doesn't do any like snow sports.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've never skied or snowboarded in my life, but I would always love to do something like that.
Yeah. Well, I have 3 after. We can probably
Yeah, let's
get
get
going.
going.
Yeah, awesome. So thank you everyone who's joined thus far and letting us know where you're from. Please continue to do that. So this is the chat function. There's a Q&A function at the bottom of your screen as well. And so as we go through the conversation, we are going to save some time at the end to have some Q&A. So as questions come up in your mind, just add it to that thread so that we can make sure that we catch it. And we will answer questions live as they come up. But again, we just want to make sure that we have them all in one spot so that at the end, we don't miss your question. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to share my screen. All right, Michael, you see what we're supposed to see?
Yeah, an introduction to Radius Agent Realty. All right.
Hey, love it. Well, again, everyone, thank you for joining. I see a couple familiar names, so that's great to see. My name is Kaylee, and I am the Agent Partnership Manager at Radius Agent Realty, and I am joined with Michael Bardales. He's our Executive Director of Brokerage Expansion. And kind of the rough layout of today, we want to walk through some of the offerings of our brokerage and also just do a little bit of Q&A, some frequently asked questions that Michael and I have both come across in our conversations with agents over the last few months. And then, like I said, we'll open it up to the group for more questions. So let's first introduce our leaders. So when you say that you are an agent with Radius Agent Realty, these are the founding folks who are invested in your success. Bijou and Sonia are co-founders. Their experience in owning a brokerage and also consulting, they have a unique perspective on what is most valuable and most relevant for agents. And I think that you'll find that in all of our offerings when we talk about our business model. Our investors here on the other side, Pete Flint probably stands out to some folks for his former title as the CEO of Trulia. And then we have Tim here, who has obviously been involved in a number of ventures. And I think it's important to show that this is where your support starts, but certainly doesn't end here. And so moving on to our broker leaders, we have our managing brokers here on the left-hand side, Ashkan and Troy. They are our representatives for California and Colorado. Something that's really unique and I think probably provides a ton of value to our California agents is knowing that Ashkan has 10 plus years experience in being a real estate attorney. So of course, with all the ins and outs and the legal aspect of real estate, particularly in California, he's a really strong resource for our agents. And I know that they feel lucky to be able to leverage his knowledge and experience. Troy, he's a great guy. He's here in Colorado with me, northern Denver area, and he has 20 plus years of experience. He has a really unique knack for mentorship and training. He's an incredibly patient person. I've used him a lot just to try to understand the Colorado market, and I know our agents feel lucky to have him as well. At least one familiar face over here on the right-hand side with our executive directors, Mark and Michael, combined 30 years of experience in the industry. And all of this is just to prove that when you're an agent with us, you have all of these leaders who bring so many experiences and their knowledge and can really be in your corner and help you to grow and keep your business going. So while we're here today to talk about the brokerage, which has been launched in the summer of this year, Radius has been empowering agents since 2015. First with our community of agents. This was just a place for folks to network and connect. we found that after establishing this group, it's the referrals that agents are particularly interested in. So agent to agent marketplace is a tool for our community. And we found that leveraging the community, all of the agents are super attracted to exchanging this information on the platform. We then introduced Radius Assist. So this is our concierge program. If you are an agent that has a ton of online leads, whether in bulk or real-time integrations, you can leverage our team of inside sales agents. They're Denver-based. They will reach out to your online leads on your behalf and vet them based on qualifications that you establish ahead of time. So obviously huge time saver and a very attractive tool for agents. We also started to layer in transaction coordination. So we recognize that during transactions, you have a ton of compliance deadlines. There's a lot of nuances. And so we want to make sure that we've layered in that support to make sure that you feel confident in all of the business decisions. And that brings us to the brokerage. So as mentioned, we officially launched this summer, and we are agent-focused brokerage. We put tech first, we put our agents first, and it's just a concerted effort to make sure that you're getting the most out of your brokerage, and we're giving you the most relevant support. So I want to kind of move into the pillars of what we're going to be discussing today. Michael, personal branding, powerful technology, support and training, qualified leads, and a community of agents. I think we'll best kind of demonstrate this through some of the Q&A, but a lot of these areas, I think, are buzzwords, right? Like a lot of brokers talk about how they are leaders in tech, or their support and training is unmatched. So let's kind of jump into personal branding to start. So the idea, we've heard this before, people don't just hire a brokerage, they hire you. And so let's kind of talk a little bit more about that. From an agent's perspective and your perspective, how important is it that your personal brand is recognized above the brand of the brokerage? So if you're someone who, I want my brand to stand alone, how important is that?
Yeah. So as we all know, you guys, and feel free to ask questions in the chat too while we're talking. This is definitely a town hall, so we want to make this very interactive as much as we can. So we're gonna go and talk a little bit about personal branding right now. And at the end of the day, all of us are self-employed entrepreneurs, right? So the power for us is actually the service, is actually doing what we do best, is selling real estate. And I believe by doing that as a brokerage, the broker should be finding new opportunities for an agent to be a better realtor. And I think in regards to that, like if that's the broker's job, it's like, hey, how do I get these great tools? How do I get leads? How do I do all these things? How do I do a video for you guys? How do I do business cards right? Yard signs, so on and so forth. That's the support right there. The brand is actually the agent, who they are as a people, what they do in the community, what team members they have, what team they're trying to establish, so on and so forth. I want to use an analogy and kind of use like the Motown analogy, where Berry Gordy, as you guys know, that's Motown, right? So what he did was he created a platform for all his artists to perform. Now, everyone was individuals, right? The Temptations were individuals. Marvin Gaye was an individual. But when you heard that sound, you knew it was a Motown sound. So what we want to do is create artists within the Radius platform, provide them the right tools, provide them the right leads, so they can then brand themselves and create their own music as well. So I think here, we are here to set the stage for you guys. We're definitely here to put you guys up front. I think when we're building this company, all of us are coming from the eye of an agent. Like, what does the agent need? Versus saying like, this is what we want to do, this is what we think best. So I think a lot of our stuff here is definitely agent centric, and definitely putting that brand forward.
I like what you said too. And obviously, as someone in my position, I'm having a ton of conversation with agents. And one thing that has been just the resounding message is that it's not a one size fits all for us. So we don't really come forward and say, as a brokerage, here's everything that we can offer you. And, you either sign on and pay for it all, although some of it may not be applicable to you. And that's something that a lot of agents have shared feedback on, which is a plus.
Yeah, we definitely want to make sure that what you do, who you are, and your services are highlighted. That's what's going to get us the business. Or that's going to get you guys the business as well. So let us do what we do best and look into these tech tools, look into how to do your business cards, and take a lot of that stress of like the day-to-day stuff, and you guys focus on the client business.
Absolutely. And here we just want to kind of offer some visuals on the topic that we're discussing. And so to Michael's point, whether it's a professional video that's introducing you as an agent or your team and kind of what makes you unique, all the way from some of the tangibles. So your business cards, yard signs, some social media templates to really help you stand apart.
Yeah, and the one thing that we're adding too, which marketing is doing, is having a logo for you guys. So we kind of want everyone to be uniformed and have this great brand. So it's best that you allow our marketing department to do that logo with you guys. So I think we have about 7 different options in regards to how to create a logo that looks really well and complements the Radius brand as well. So that's something that we offer here, something they took a lot of time and effort towards, because again, I think having your name, but also a great logo of yourself is truly how you're going to brand yourself.
I agree. That kind of leads us into another question, and this is something that I've heard often. But if you're an agent who has spent years establishing a brand that is in tandem with your brokerage, so your clients recognize your name next to the brokerage, what would you say to this person who is hesitant in moving forward and trying to make their brand more independent, separate from their brokerage?
Well, I think the one thing in life that's constant is change, right? I think a lot of top professionals, a lot of top business people once started somewhere and ended up somewhere different. I think when you're making a change, I believe, and going to another brokerage, I think it's saying that you want to be a better realtor, you want to be a better team leader, you want to be just a better overall, just in regards to your business. And I think if you took the mindset of telling your individuals, like, listen, I am rebranding to be better for you, that's a whole different approach of saying, like, I'm creating this whole new thing and I don't know what I'm doing yet. I think anyone that wants to rebrand right now, it's only to allow more net profit in their commissions, to add more possible team members, to do something that's going to maybe do something a lot different than what they've been doing. So that old saying, whatever you're doing, how did that saying go? Now I messed myself up. To have what you never have, you have to do what you never done.
Okay.
It is a little risky, it is a little bit of change, but at the same time, you're not changing who you are. You're just creating this new identity for your client base.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of, football players, right? They start in one team and they end up somewhere else. And the reason they do that is because it's going to help their career to be better. So I think by rebranding yourself and coming over to Radius Agent Realty is just showing that you want to be a better agent for your clients.
Yeah. Yeah, that's well said. And, it's uncomfortable. There's no doubt about that, but that's when change happens.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Michael, can you see if there's any specific questions on branding coming through the Q&A, or should we pop over to technology? Oh, did you go on mute? I see your mouth moving.
That's what happens when I try to put mute in the background, right? Yeah, but no, I don't see any, but if anyone has any question about personal branding or anything we just covered, please let us know.
Good deal. So powerful technology. As I mentioned, just with our founders, Bijou and Sonia, they've obviously integrated a lot of top tier tech into our offering as a brokerage. And so some questions around this, obviously there are hundreds of different platforms and technology tools for real estate professionals, lead generation, CRMs, your website, what have you. And so as an agent, what tools do you look for in like a tech package from a brokerage?
Well, take a step back for a second. I'm really never seen a lot of real estate companies come out with tech tools that are like competing with companies that just focus on that tech tool, to be totally honest with you. Not disregarding some of the things that like Keller Williams are doing. They have great CRMs, and there's a lot of things that real estate companies are doing internally. And I think that's a great thing. I think the approach that we're taking here at Radius is more partnering up with those people that just do what they do best. Right? Like, let's not recreate a CRM. Let's partner up with KV Core. Let's not recreate, how we do our transactions. Let's partner up with SkyTC. So I think that approach is a lot better because we're building a bridge between technology and real estate, right? We're letting the real estate people be real estate and let the tech people be tech. I think that's super, super important. However, we need to come together. So I don't think, having internal tools are bad, but I haven't really seen companies that really go out and try to really build a CRM. It's tough. It's really tough to build an internal CRM. It's really tough to generate leads like the Zillows and the Redfins. It's really tough to create things like High Note, Disclosure IO, so on and so forth. Broker Sumo, I can go on. So instead of doing that, we got our CEO and our COO in the back, figuring out those relationships, getting us some great discounts, taking us to things that maybe a tool won't be available for the public right now. So I know we're working right now in partnership with like High Note. That's something that's not available for a regular agent to just sign up to. So not only are we going to partner up with them, we're also going to get a discounted price. So a lot of things that we do, again, goes back to what we said earlier, it's agent centric. Like, we know what CRM works best. We know what lead generation works best. There's only so much out there. So to build those partnerships with those companies, I think it's great because we know that, one, we have a tech company behind us, and then the tech company knows they have a group of realtors using their systems.
Right.
So that type of relationship, I think, is solid. And keeping up with the trends is hard. So like, even if you're an independent agent, I'm sure you get calls all the time. This is the best tech tool. This is the best lead source. And to take you down those rabbit holes, which sometimes they do, right? Because of course you want to be better, right? You want to say, hey, is this lead source better than my lead source now? Let us do that for you. Let us put in that time and that effort and that energy to figure out what's the best tools for you guys. Because we're not getting it from the salespeople. I mean, I think our CEO and COO are talking to the CEOs of these companies. Yeah. So you're getting it from the top on how this can actually work with us. So I think I like our approach better. Like, we do real estate, we sell real estate. Let's partner with the people in real estate that do great tech things.
Yep. I think that's really well said. And what it boils down to, like, if you want to take one word away from it, it's efficiencies, right? So to your point, our CEO and COO are dedicated to really just stripping away all of the administrative and kind of cumbersome tasks and tools that can often, like, bog us down a little bit. So the end goal being, let's take care of all that stuff. We'll handle it. You go out and build relationships.
Yeah. And we're literally having these meetings like, okay, what are all the things a realtor needs? Like, let's figure that part out, right? We're on Slack, all of us talking about all these different great things that we can add, not only to just, to the company, but to the agents. It's all agent centric. I mean, literally talking about how to make your TC flow a lot better, your lead generation a lot better, and really competing. I mean, I think what we want to do here, I know what we want to do here is have an equal playing field to the other people that's been around for many, many years, in a small time frame. Like, hey, if you're with Radius, you have the tools just as much as a top producer at this company or that company. We're equivalent now. Now it's just about mindset and just changing certain things of your business to make you better. That's really what it is.
Absolutely. And you kind of touched on it, but another thought that I had is you mentioned, staying up to date with all of the trends, which is super hard to do because, to your point, there's thousands of options. So how important is it that a brokerage put such concerted effort into sourcing the best technology, but also probably doing some type of level of vetting it too, right? So, a lot of really hot tools become available, but you don't just want to grab anything and offer it. We have to be smart about what we're leveraging.
Yeah, we try not to follow trends, right? Those are just things that are in and out. We really try to follow technology and where it's going with it. and real estate and technology are just both fluid markets. They just change, right? Like there's a new PS5 out, there's a new update to something. Your software update just constantly just is happening. So, and if anything, we're just trying to be ahead of that curve to understand where technology is going in real estate. And it takes a lot, because I know when I was an active salesperson, like my day were inundated with putting out offers, negotiating my terms, working on my files, gaining new business, so on and so forth. The last thing I want to do is take a sales call for a new platform to talk for an hour and a half to figure this out, and then have someone else call me again later that week. And I really don't know what they're offering me because I'm so busy doing something else. So if, I think you trust the staff here that are just doing everything they can to understand those products before we even put it out to the people. I think the cool thing is we've said no to a few companies, like, no, that just doesn't fit our model, and it's okay. And not saying that they're a bad thing, but we're trying to do something different here. So in regards to that, like keeping up with the Joneses is definitely tough. Everyone's I think COVID alone brought out tons of new products we never used before, right? So, I mean, Zoom was okay, but then it blew up during COVID. That's a new product. And I've been around for about 16 years, 17 years this February, I'll be in real estate. Zillow wasn't even around when I started. So to think like how much real estate tools come out, not only then and now, but I mean, I'm getting new tools left and right still. So it's a fluid market. You got to be careful, because a lot of people out there can develop really cool tools, but do they apply to your business? That's the most important thing. Can it be something that's just not so unique that only works for you? Can it work for everybody? And if it does work for everybody, is efficient for everybody? So I think when we put in that time and that effort and that thought, it will build that trust with the agents, knowing that we have the right tools and we're doing the right thing.
Yes, well said. And I do just want to kind of call out, because we're showing some visuals of the tech that we're talking about. KV Core has the unique function to kind of pull a bunch of different tools into a single platform. So it just gives you as the agent some transparency in where your clients are spending some time on your website, looking at your listings, making sure that all of your leads are compiled into one source. So again, efficiencies, right? We just want to make sure that we are putting everything in an easy to use platform, one that is relevant to you. And at the end of the day, just want to make sure that you can run your business well.
Yeah, especially KV Core, man. I mean, KV Core in itself is just one huge tool. I mean, it's one of the best platforms I've seen with the CRM, and I've seen them a lot. So to even have that function is really great. And then again, back to High Note, thinking like, wow, there's like a 3-month waiting list for High Note, and we can get our agents High Note like sooner than later. So it's really good. I do see a question here. Hi there. Are these tools, tech tools, all offered with your silver plan? So yeah, what we're doing is we have a plan, and basically we're doing different add-ons. Some of these come in as a discounted price, meaning like if you were to go to a certain platform, it would be a certain price. With us, it's a discounted price directly to the vendor. So we're not making any profit on any platforms that we're working with or in partnership with. But KV Core is something that's $199 that comes with the silver plan. And that's one of the platforms that probably is 80% of your business right there.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah, it's a great deal. You're right, Tanya. Tanya, it's a great deal.
Awesome. Well, let's kick over to our qualified leads. So vetted by Radius Assist that we talked about here at the top of the call, our concierge team. One question that I had for you, Michael, brokerage promising leads. Probably not super unique. I think a lot of agents, even ones that I've spoken with, have communicated that their broker or brokerage has said, we'll be able to provide you leads, no problem. So what I'm thinking of is we're saying that we're going to provide you leads, but we're also going to vet them through our concierge team. So how I guess valuable is that to an agent, and how often do you see that type of offering with other brokers?
Yeah. So let's kind of take the two concepts, right? So the first concept is basically a lead. And what is a lead, everyone? It's a name, a phone number, and an email That's really what it is. They may have told you they're interested in 123 Main Street, but at the same time, you still got to give them the call, right? Being if it's on a major platform, there's a lot of different like people that may call or not call before that, right? So that's your typical lead. It's just kind of like your cold lead. Here's another lead, someone that you basically talked to already, someone that said, hey, I am interested in this house. Yes, my name is Michael. Yes, I do live in Oakland. Yes, I do all that. And yes, I would like to talk to Kaylee, please. I mean, the power in there and alone is just huge. And that's how I got introduced to Radius. It was through Radius Assist, having a concierge service. And I'm a big lead guy because we always had a team. So we had to create like on lead presence or whatnot. Back in the days, you used to do walk-ins. Back in the days, you used to be able to like make phone calls a day. I did 357 calls a day. So I get the cold calling world. However, it's not effective as it is for a realtor to do as it was back then. So if we can have a team of individuals locally in America making phone calls on our same time zone is super huge. I've worked with many different countries. I've worked with many different call centers throughout the world and even locally, but they couldn't get it right. But to have Assist sit there and call the leads that the company is generating. So think about this. The company is generating leads. The leads that get generated go to the partner company, Radius Assist. They then call those leads for us, vet those clients out, so on and so forth. And now all the agent has to do is follow up. I don't know if there's actually a company that does that, to be totally honest with you. There's no company that actually internally owns a real estate concierge company. So that's such a huge advantage that it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So not on top of like the flat fee, the tools you get for $199, but to think that you can also have a partner to help you call your leads that you generate from different platforms is beyond huge. I think it's a game changer.
Yeah. And for someone who is making 357 cold calls a day, like you just got all kinds of time back in your day. And, you know, the leads as they're passing through, by the time you're having that conversation, they're vetted, you know, like kind of their level of seriousness and probably easier to convert faster, right?
Right. You know, we're talking to the right people now. We're not spending our time, and don't get me wrong, even within that, you're still going to have your people you're still following up with or not, or whatnot. But the fact of the matter is this: if you do Facebook leads right now, you're doing them right. You're going to get them for a buck, under $1 a lead, for example. If you had a budget of about $200 for your Facebook leads per month, that's over 200 leads you probably generate. That's a lot of leads to follow up if you have an active pipeline, if you have multiple lead sources, if you're running a team, if you're a father, a mother, so on and so forth. It's just another layer. But at the same time, I've seen a lot of agents pay for a lead source as someone uses a gym where they just don't show up and they're just, their card is getting hit $500 a month. And they're saying like, yeah, one day I'll make a call. So, you know, don't get me wrong. We want to worry about current business, but when the season kind of is not on fire like it is now, we need those nurtured leads then. So Radius Assist in partnership with Radius Agent Realty, I think is a game changer.
Well said. I do see a couple questions coming through. So the concierge team, they're Denver based. So the greater Broomfield area.
Right. And then they ask, how much do we pay for these leads? Is there a referral fee? So yes, there is a referral fee. There is a, just like kind of if you were a Redfin partner agent or something of that magnitude, there's a 30% referral fee, 35% for 30% for buyers, 35% for sellers. But you do not pay for the leads as well. However, if you want to generate your own leads, we can still call your own leads, and that's still the $500 per file. So if you think about it, everyone should have at least multiple avenues of business. One should be generation of their own leads. That should be like one component. The second component should be a lead source through your company, such as what we're doing with you guys right now. And the other one should be a referral source. And that's what we have with Radius Agent. You're getting referrals from multiple people. So if you have more than just one avenue of leads, yeah, one here's $500, one's 30%, the other could be 25%. That's really a true pipeline. So like to think that like 100% of your business is going to come just for yourself, probably not. But if you have multiple avenues of this, like it's still all the same deals. But guess what? You close 5 deals from 5 different lead sources, it's still 5 units and it's still production of a couple $1 million.
Yeah. All the different wheels turning at once, right? Not giving too much attention to one thing or the other. Let's keep them all lifted. Let's see. One more question from Tanya. Closing a lead through Radius, would it be 30% and the 500 transaction fee, or just the 30% in that case?
Yeah, no, the transaction fee is still the transaction fee. That's going to be sort of your thing. So if you think about it in this way, if you're a Redfin partner agent, for example, or some other lead source, that's just going to call it Redfin, that you have to give a 30% commission to, you still have to give your portion to your brokerage. So if you're on a 80-20 split, it's 30% plus 20, and then your kickback. So technically you're giving up 55% for this deal. This is the only true 35% referral fee you'll get probably at any brokerage, because it's only $500 a transaction. So think about it in that way, 35% off 100% or 35% off your 70. That's pretty much how it works out.
Nice. All right. Yeah, keep the questions coming. And we want to just kind of, again, provide some visuals as to what we're chatting about here. So the Radius Referral Network over on the left-hand side, this is just a quick snapshot of really how easy it is. And you can take that on the go, right? So it's just allowing our agents to be a little bit more mobile in some of the transactions that they're moving forward with. And then again, just some bullets on what we discussed about Radius Assist. So again, our inside sales agents sit in Denver. They set appointments on your behalf. We have that initial conversation with you to truly understand how you would qualify this person. And then whether it's email, text, phone call, a combination of the three, we get in touch with your leads.
But also too, Kaylee, there's a recording component to this. So you can actually hear them call your leads.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really, really cool. When I saw that, like, I was like, wow. So now you can manage too. So like peek in on them and just say, hey, give feedback, like, hey, maybe we can do it like this next time, or maybe we can do it like that next time, So I think it's really good that you have the recording process, because now you can actually hear how they call on your leads. And I think that's super, super huge. And usually to get that component, like say with like Follow Up Boss or any other out there, it's an actual, you have to pay for that service to hear your calls or whatnot. So it's really good that that's a component on your lead, so you can manage them while you're giving them up at the same time.
Right. And giving it up too, right? I speak with agents all the time who are at least some level hesitant of passing over online leads and having someone else have those initial conversations. So it's full transparency. Like what you're saying, you can hear the recordings, you can check up for progress on where everyone stands. So yeah, good call.
And I like that, what they said, and I wouldn't disagree with them. Like if there's, Radius agent is really good for your nurtured leads, those leads that take a lot of time. Yeah, if there's someone calling and they want to go see an appointment, maybe you're the best person to talk to at that time. But if you have a lead source that it's pretty much a 30 to 60 day lead source, meaning day one they get the lead, especially like social media leads. Those aren't really specific. Hey, I want to buy a house. It's more curious leads. So you have to kind of work those in. So you pick them up in October. Chances are you finally talk to them in November. Chances are they get pre-approved in December, and chances are you're showing in January. That's really the life of social media leads. But some of the leads are a lot quicker. So yeah, maybe some of them you keep for yourself and some of them you send to Assist.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, awesome. Well, let's jump over to support and training. One more visual when we're talking about the Facebook and Google ads. Here's just some quick snapshots on what those would look like on either platform. We use Property Boost and then the pay-per-click for Google, which some of you may already be familiar with. So support and training, I want to kind of debunk, if we can, a misconception of a virtual brokerage. So I think it's a valid concern, right? But what would you say to someone who is concerned that a virtual brokerage is not equipped to offer the type of support and training that someone could be used to in a traditional setting?
I would say that they're correct. And to be honest with you, that was like, I think the day one conversation we had with the CEO and the COO, like, what does that mean? To be totally honest with you, the connotation is like, you only pay us $500 so we don't have to deal with you. That's a flat fee model, right? But at the same time, what I notice with brokerages is that they tend to give training that's really not specific for like anybody. It's just real estate training. However, all of us are on different levels of our real estate careers, right? So what may have worked in regards to a top producer training may not work for someone who's just starting. And someone who's just starting training may not work for the top producer. So it's sporadic training, that I've been seeing with different brokerages. What the approach that we want to take is an approach that we want to train you based on the level of your skill set and your production. So if you're generating, let's say, less than 10 deals a year, then cool, you need to go on this program. Maybe we're training you just about sales. Maybe we're training you about this, that, and the other. The second one may be those that are doing anywhere between 10 to 25 deals a year. Great. Let's talk to you about what's going on here. Maybe your processes, maybe your systems. We use different terminology. And then the last one is going to be for advanced people, those that are just killing it and looking to generate a team. So we really took a step back to understand, like, one, the training needs to be there, period. However, it needs to be to the right people. Because I didn't like going to training where I thought it was for me. It's like, man, that was something I could have used when I first started. And then I don't want to go to training that's so like advanced that half the room don't even understand what we're talking about. So I think when we get specific to these modules that we're going to do, I believe we're going to have like a week one, you should do this, so on and so forth. So that's the training. And also we're partnering up with some great people nationwide to offer Radius Academy. So that's something like your webinar based stuff, so on and so forth. And we have people like Stacy Mack, we have Lisa Montrose, we have Chris, who's really good at digital strategy. So we're creating those things not only to get you like internally trained, but also externally through these kind of coaches through Radius Academy. Now, in regards to support, yeah, now that you're virtual, now that there's really not a local office, who do I talk to about my everyday deals? Because some of us may not need management, right? Some of us may not need someone to tell you, make your sales calls, go out there and do your business. However, we may need something when a counter comes out. Something popped up in your inspection, something popped up in your process. So we're creating a management support desk, and it's kind of in the beginning stages, but the goal for it is for agents to call when they have an issue, and we'll have a local leader there willing to walk you through your process. And I think that's super, super huge to have that on the spot Johnny manager. I think it's going to be really, really powerful. Or Jane, Johnny or Jane, whoever won. But those are the two things that I instantly thought when I first came. And again, the CEO and the CEO, like, well, let's do it. So I think we understand the needs of agents, and we're willing to adapt our ways of doing things. We don't want to sit there and just give the same training to just everybody. And hopefully someone got what they call like one gem out of it. And like, nah, I'm not going to waste an hour and a half for one gem. I want gems. Right. I want some tangible things. And like, I've sat through a lot of real estate stuff in my entire life, going from hotels to digital things. So I kind of know what we want. So we'll promise to give you guys some great, great training and some great, great support.
Yeah. So when we were talking about technology, our word was efficiencies. And I think here, when we're talking about training, it's customizable, right? So to your point, everyone is so different in what their expertises are, where they could use some help. And so we want to create trainings and offer you support that is customized. So it's for Michael, it's for Angelica. We're creating trainings that are actually ones that you're excited about joining, and that you're going to take away some good stuff. So,
I'm going to throw in one more, probably get like our CEO and COO, like another thing we're going to do. Like, yeah, another thing we're going to do. It'd be nice to have like a virtual suggestion box, like not only just take in our thoughts and our efforts, because sometimes we can be just super focused that we don't see something else. So yeah, we're even open to hearing you out on what you want for your business. I think that's really good. We're not going to get specific on individual plans, but if it's something that a lot of people are coming up with, we definitely would like that. So I think, creating some sort of virtual suggestion box in regards to things. But yeah, some of the ideas, we'll run with, and some of them will be like, nah, that's not for us. But I think having that open communication with our agents, I think would be something really huge.
For sure. And, we talked about Radius Academy and the partnerships that we've established with leaders in the industry, but just kind of reeling it in just a little bit, we have our internal team who offers such a high level of support as well. So Jessica and Robin, our agent success managers. I mean, you should never feel at any point in the process where you don't really know what's going on or where you stand. So from the very beginning, smooth transition from your current brokerage. We make sure that we do a tech setup, but also back to the training, we can do some one-on-one trainings to make sure not only do you have your tech, but you're comfortable using it and you can use it to its best ability. So again, we've got the leaders in the industry in our corner, but also Jessica and Robin.
Yeah, and if I can say something about both of them, I think they're fantastic women. There, I work with them closely a lot. But the first nugget here is smooth transition from existing brokerage. I think that's everyone's fear right there, right? Like, I'm in the middle of a deal, like I'm about to sign this listing. Like, how does that even work? And don't worry about that. That's the part we can handle for you guys. Like, as long as you know that you want to be a part of something like this, you want to work with people like us. The other part, we're creating a great process in regards to that. We're working with SkyTC, who's helping us with that to get a proper checklist, to get a proper QC. We don't want to like interrupt your business whatsoever, because we get it, but at the same time, we want you to come over a little bit faster than normally too at the same time. So and we'll time everything right properly. And even when you're on board, you have week 1, you do this, week 2, you do that, so on and so forth. So we definitely have a good plan for onboarding, because trust me, I know onboarding sometimes is one of the hardest things to overcome. I've onboarded a few agents and I didn't even know how to set up their printer correctly, and I'm sweating and the key doesn't work for some reason. And all of a sudden the bathroom's backed up. So it can be, tough, but I think with Jessica and Robin leading the charge, everyone would be totally fine.
Yeah, we agree with Angelica. Jessica and Robin, they are fabulous. Yeah. All right. It doesn't look like we've had any specific questions coming up on support and training. So just keeping a close eye on time. We're about 15 minutes to go. We want to cover at least 2 other pillars. And then if there are any last questions, we'll get to those. But agent community. So we talked a little bit about this at the top of the call. 2015 was when Radius really established this network of agents to share trends. Think of it as like, your real estate feed. All the good stuff is there. And so in any industry, community is super important, right? So particularly in a time where all of us are spread out geographically, how do you think that the Radius community is going to add value to our agents that are aligned with our brokerage?
Well, I think the summit showed that, right? I mean, our Radius Summit was really, really good. It
Yeah.
was really well put together. It brought together the best of people I think I was on a panel where we had someone from Florida, Midwest, Colorado. I think it was like all 4 time zone. And you realize how everything is almost the same but different, right? So it's good to get outside perspectives, because I think some of us sometimes only understand like our market. So we're like, oh, Bay Area this, Bay Area that, and don't realize what's happening in Texas or what's happening in Florida, whatever the case may be. So, Radius Summit showed that we're getting the best of these people from different cities, different avenues or whatnot, and bringing them together to help us train, our community within Radius Agent. Radius Agent is providing us platforms to connect with other, remember we talked about referrals being a lead avenue, right?
Mhm.
To connect with people like in Texas and Colorado and so on and so forth. Because right now, especially in the Bay Area doesn't buy the Bay Area. Chances are that person's coming from Denver, that person's coming from Florida to San Francisco, to Los Angeles, to these metros. And to have individuals already in place, you're getting money from that too. So you're opening yourself up for referrals, you're opening yourself up for new relationships and training from different perspectives. I always prided myself in getting trained by people that not the norm. Like I love Tom Ferry. I think he's great. But to me, I was like, well, let me find somebody else, because everyone's jumping on that train. So sometimes it's really, really good to just hear that perspective from someone and we're bringing out some pretty cool people like Delroy Gill, for example, from Denver. I think he has like 30,000 followers, and to hear his story was really cool. Veronica out in EXP, It's really cool to hear these people's stories and perspectives from all over the nation. So I think this community alone, Radius Agent, and also the summit that we're doing, the Tuesday talks like this that we're doing, we're bringing people together. I mean, that's really what we do. I think we had like 680 people that registered for our event, and close to about 150 to 200 per session. I thought that was really, really good. So the proof is definitely in the pudding.
Yeah, and I just want to highlight one thing that you had said is, although we're licensed in Colorado and California, there was so much knowledge being shared across the nation, and I thought it was really cool just to hear what everyone was up to. And just because we're working in different territories does not mean that one person's strategy isn't something that you can adopt and make fit for your situation. There was some really cool stories shared.
And
And
I think one last thing I would say is I think if it's worked correctly, 5 to 10% of your business can come from this platform. Seriously. If you go out there and you connect with these agents, I mean, you're talking about 70,000 people that you can connect with. I know you don't need all 70,000, but like start putting stuff out there. Use that like you use your Facebook. It's there. Radius Agent is there to post your new listings, to ask for that referral, to build your stories. So I think this was called like the LinkedIn of real estate, right? Like this is what this community is about. So think of this being the real estate, but instead of it being all these professions, it's realtors who can possibly give you business.
yeah,
So yes, use this platform as well.
yeah. And the visuals here. So we just want to be able to show one thing I like the most about this slide is that this kind of goes hand in hand with the support too, right? So while we have this community of 70,000 agents, we also have our internal team who is there for you on a day-to-day basis. So this is just a snapshot of a sync meeting that we have. We bring together all of the agents. We go over announcements. We share wins. It's an open forum. So if you had come across something in the last week that was something unique to a deal, like we were talking about earlier, chat it through with your colleagues. And so we're doing things to try and mimic that in-office camaraderie that because we're so spread out, we can't have, but we can still come together virtually. All right. So we're doing really, really good on time. We have 10 minutes left, and we want to cover the last piece here is keeping your commission. That's the bottom line. You earned it. So Michael, flat fee structure, 100% commission, lots of different ways that brokers are either redefining or defining their business model. And so in your experience, what is Radius's biggest value add outside of just increased earnings for agents?
Well, I think it goes back to me saying we're building this company with the mindset of agents and team leaders. That's where we're building, right? Like this literally is something that you can use the moment you come with us. And I think that's pretty huge because a lot of things, like a lot of companies are evolving, right? So if you think about how to come from one way. So if you've been a part of a company and the company's been doing something for 15 years, they now need to shift that mindset, right? They have to, like, there's a change that's happening within that company because there's changes happening with every brokerage out there, period. Everyone is adjusting a certain way. I think our advantage is that we don't have to adjust. This is how we are. We don't have to come from a mindset of like, oh, we need to change the way we do our TCs. We need to change the way we do this, or so on and so forth. We're building for today's real estate. We don't have a past to think about. We don't have, ways to kind of go. We can break habits the moment you join us because this is just how we do it. So I think it's really good to have that mindset because there's so many people behind creating this Radius Agent Realty. You have tech people, you have people like Kaylee, you have people like Lily, you have people like Jessica. I mean, it's just so many people coming together, and we're truly building this for an agent, truly building this for a team leader. We understand that like generating business is an art. We get that. We get that, your TC files is a science. Like that's just what it is, and we understand that building your brand involves creativity. So you have art, you have science, you have creativity, all these different things that we feel we can bring to the table, period. We are definitely going to help you be a master of your business. That's what we're here for. So believe me, B, when we put these things into play, we are definitely researching, talking, doing all that. But I don't think we'll ever say we're good enough too. I don't think we'll ever say I think we'll always improve. Putting systems in place requires adjustments as time goes along. So I think that's what the confidence I have with this, and the huge advantage is that you're really coming from a company that's starting the way virtual companies should be starting.
Yeah. Well said. And I believe it was Tanya that asked just about kind of everything that we've talked about up until this point falls under that $199 a month. So that I believe her specific question was on the tech. And so you are getting all the tools to leverage in that $199. And then based on your need when it comes time for a transaction, whether or not you need to leverage TC, we're looking at the 500 or the 900.
Yeah, and what we're doing, I mean, if you really look at it as everything, is that we're giving you the ability to put more money into yourself. That's really what's going to take, right? Say you had a 70-30 split going on with your company, for example, 30% goes to them, 70% goes to you. But however, we don't keep in mind that 70%, there's still a cost to that. There's still a CRM we're paying for. There's still lead generation we're building. There's still all these different things. And guess what? It turns out to be maybe anywhere between 10 to 15%. So now we look at it, our 70% now is literally like 55% or less. Okay. What if we then gave you $500 a deal and your cost is now still 10 to 15%? You're still have a 90 to 85% split with all of your leads paid for, with all your external software paid for, and other things that you're doing to generate business. So I'd rather walk away with 80 to 85% of my pocket, knowing that that is also including all my tech tools, lead generation, so on and so forth. So that's what's happening now. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah. And I think that's a really good segue into talking about kind of the baseline, if you will, offerings, but again, bringing it back to the recognition that we have, knowing that there are more things, there are more tools, more things that add value to an agent. And so those we provide for you. But we also recognize that it's not for everybody. So we don't want to pass that cost along to someone who is not going to find that a relevant tool. So just a few things here as far as add-ons to optimize your business, whether it's social media support to maybe specific listings that you really want to invest in and create some really sharp showcases. And then again, back to Radius Assist, which is what we've chatted about a few times during this call, which I think just shows how valuable it is for our agents.
Yeah, and there's some questions that I got directly to me. One is, do we have agents in LA? And yeah, we actually started in LA. We have agents in San Fernando Valley. We have people in LA. So I think that's a real good thing. Mark right there is a director for Southern California as well. And is there office spaces I can go to for printing? We actually have a partnership with Regis. So Regis allows us to use their office spaces for printing at a small cost or whatnot, but you can use their spaces. So you see here, spaces in Regis are nationally. So we have free access to that, but also get discounts in regards to booking rooms if you want to get an office space as well. But yeah, I mean, definitely there are going to be some certain areas that have like these Radius agent hubs. But for right now, this is definitely what we have are these Regis office space.
Looks like we have another question for personal branding. Would you do branding for teams and team leaders too? Michael, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, we actually are coming up with a team structure where a team leader can pay for a cost of their users. So they now can then get the 80-20% split. So we're coming up with something that allows a team leader to kind of take on the costs on a monthly basis, really affordable. Don't get me wrong, team leaders. But then that allows you now to bring people on board that are getting like 80% split. Now think about it this way, like what new agent should get an 80% split? Those are typically for top agents, 90% split. So if you're recruiting for your team and you're telling new agents, I can give you 80% split, that's going to blow their mind. And then we'll show you how to work in the structure for yourself. But look at this here. So like, as you see here, this is how we broke down the traditional brokerages. So that's saying if you took the team model, that if you had an agent on a 80-20 split, you would get $2,400 per deal. So it's working out something where you pay like for 6 users, so 6 people at like $199 at a discounted price. So that's $1,200. Again, don't hold me to it. We'll break it down to like $995. But then from there, every agent now that you have on your team is on the 80-20 split, and one deal alone will make your money back.
Yeah. And as far as the branding goes, like it's your team brand that we
Correct.
would highlight and showcase. Yep.
Yeah. So team brand. So it's let's see here, the Tonya King Group. We'll go ahead and use your name. Call it King Realty.
Oh,
King Real Estate Group. We'll definitely brand that. No, it's all about you guys. So if it be your last name, if it be some unique name you come up with, we'll definitely support that.
Good. Did you get any more direct questions your way?
No, those are just the ones, LA and office space.
Got it. Okay. Well, we are, I have 2:58 Mountain Time. I do want to just make sure that we kind of land here. So, any real estate agent knows that a testimonial carries a lot of value. And so we have Erica in Denver, Jay, he's in the California area. Just a few sentences from them to highlight how their business has changed since joining Radius. And I want to just let everyone know that we will send follow-up communication. You'll have my contact information. I'd love to chat with you one-on-one, answer specific questions about your business, and definitely follow us on social. Radius Agent Realty has a LinkedIn page. You can stay up to date with all of our growth and things that we're celebrating. And yeah, Michael, anything that you would add?
Yeah, well, one is that I was a realtor and a lender for 16 years, so I get it. And I want to offer my, ability to chat with anyone here as well that are looking to, if not looking for a change, to answer more questions about Radius Agent Realty, but also if you're looking for a change, I mean, definitely understand what that means or whatnot. And I definitely come from a mindset of, being in real estate, knowing what it takes to be a realtor, know what it takes to be a team leader, so on and so forth. So that's what I'm here for, is to help, with that. Okay, now that I know about these tools and all this stuff, how does this fit my business? And that's a conversation I'm open to having with you. Like, what does it mean for Radius Assist to be involved with your business? What does it look like for Radius Agent Platform to be involved with your business? What does it mean for you to be a team leader? And, definitely here to have that conversation with anyone here or anyone that you may know that might be interested in California or Colorado for us. So yeah, email us, michael.bardales@radiusagent.com. Like I said, follow us on Instagram at Radius Agent Realty. Any questions you guys have, my Instagram is on here as well. So if you want to DM me directly and talk more personable, Latinx exec, that's where you can reach me at. So definitely open to have any conversation with anyone here, and definitely open to have any last minute questions that are going on now.
Yeah, and thanks, Lily, for adding contact information in the chat so that it's readily available for folks.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, I'd say.
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed it. Yeah, any last words? Kaylee, leave it to you.
Cool. Well, it looks like the questions have come to an end. So thank you, Gina, for joining. Thank you for everyone else for hopping on. And we hope that either myself or Michael get to hear from you directly soon.
All right, you guys have a good day. Take care.
Thank you.